Hey guys, it's Jay. I just wanted to come back and do another card with the Chill Day stamp set. And this one I was thinking we'll use the stamps less as colored images and more as just sort of, more sort of graphic design kind of images, which I always kind of like. And I thought I would start by doing a little bit of ink blending. I grabbed a top fold or a side folding A2, and then I also just cut a matte piece out of this sunny yellow cardstock. So I was thinking like a light green would work really well. So I just grabbed this guy here. This is the Matcha from Catherine Pooler. And I really like her inks, but what I really like to do often is just sort of come in from the side and just sort of create an interesting pattern. And generally I try and leave the center a little bit less dark so that it sort of pulls your focus. Wow, words today. Pulls your focus towards that. And I'm just inking on some Nina cardstock here. And I'm going to, like these two corners are a little light, so I'm just going to pull in a little more ink. And if you're worried about getting ink on your hands, you can certainly use a piece of scrap paper to do this, but I think that's about what we want. I think this is going to look, yeah, I really like how that looks against the, there you can see a little bit better, against the yellow. I think that's kind of a fun color combination. Let me cover my ink before I get it all over my hand somehow. And just going to clean off any excess. Then we can bring the panel in and sort of decide how we want to lay this out. Since we have some interest going on here, I think I'm going to figure out what I want my sentiment to be. I think I really like life is better with sprinkles. I think that's a fun sentiment. So I'm going to put that mostly in the center. And then I'm going to grab some of these little ice creams and just kind of put them around. Think, and at like fun angles too, to not have it be like so straight up and down. And just sort of, I like the idea here of just sort of framing the sentiment. And the nice thing about the Misty is like you can play around with this pretty endlessly. I kind of like it, like having two like this, and then I'll grab the last one. There are some popsicles here. I'm sure you're kind of surprised because popsicles are my favorite thing that I didn't go with them. I think this fills the frame nicely. I also have some of the, I think these are the Cool Treats sparkly enamel dots, so I think I'm going to use some of those as well. And random ephemera on my desk from something. Anyway, so I'm just going to pick all these guys up. I'm going to see if we'll be lucky, and I'm just going to remove any of the factory oils that are on there. It took me a long time to realize that's why it took a while for my stamps to condition before. Anyway, this is just a dye ink because I'm not going to be doing anything too super special. But the thing you want to make sure is that this is pretty aligned. That looks, I think I want to be over a little bit. And that's also the thing I like about the Misty is that you can play around with this a good bit. I think that looks pretty good. Maybe a little back here. Yeah, I like how that lays out. So I'll just rub over those, and this is printed so well that it's stuck. And I like how that came out. That's got a pretty good impression the first time. And I actually wound up redoing this front panel because I really wanted a darker impression than I was getting. So I think this is going to look better. So let me just put this together again. This is the original card, so you can see sort of how it came out, but I didn't quite like how it wound up being matted in the end, so I decided that it would be a good idea just to do it and have it come out a little bit more like how I wanted it to. I am certainly going to use the other card, But to me, it's sort of more of a friends and family card now as opposed to one that I would want to sell. So let's just... The one downside to me with tape adhesive is it's tricky to get the panels on perfect. But, I mean, it's also a handmade card, so, I mean, some people prefer it to be a little less perfect, but I don't know. I always like the days you can just sort of get them on straight the first time, but in any event, the thing is, a lot of people who get the cards don't necessarily know what you initially thought the card would be, so often they're just going to love it regardless. So anyway, here we go. This is a little more, let's just get that little adhesive fuzzy off. So I think I'm going to still use the same jewels, and these are the ones that came out with the quarterly release. And that one, I think, is not quite where I want it. We will pull that off and try again. I think I want it more like here. Yeah. There we go. Actually, I think I may go and grab a couple of these little ones just to add a little bit more. I don't know. I feel like when you don't know if it's the right number of little ephemera, little bling pieces, it's always good to add a couple more. So I like how this came out. Let me just get you in the good light so you can see it. And I think it just turns into a really nice any occasion card. You know, you could use it for a thank you, birthday, whatever. I tend to leave the insides blank because then you can just put like a sub-sentiment in here whenever you're ready to use it for something. But this one you could use for practically anything. I really love how graphic these particular stamps are because it makes them really fun to color like you saw in the first card. Anyway, thanks for checking this out and talk to you guys later.